Ethereum Classic has been on fire, and over the last 7 days, it is up 253%. And it is important to clarify that Ethereum Classic is different than Ethereum. And in this video, I'm going to tell you the truth about Ethereum Classic. Welcome aboard the Bitcoin Express. My name is Chase. Let's get to it. Surprisingly, Ethereum Classic is the original Ethereum. And the Ethereum that we know today, led by Vitalik Buterin, is actually the forked version. And typically, the forked version of a crypto project is the one that fails. But Ethereum, led by Vitalik Buterin, was the one that ended up growing to be the more powerful, dominant chain. Well, what happened? In the early days, there was only one Ethereum. And they built something known as the DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, a smart contract. Back then it was revolutionary, but today we interact with smart contracts all the time. And this DAO, smart contract, raised $150 million worth of Ethereum. But in 2016, it was hacked. And the whole point about crypto and blockchain is that it is immutable, meaning once something happens, you can't reverse it. So many people said, you know what, we lost that money, we can't do anything about it, it is immutable, let's move on. But Vitalik and some others said, no, let's reverse this and make it right. Let's send that money back. And people had a problem, right? That goes against blockchain. Back then, this was possible because Ethereum was smaller and more centralized. So they did have the power to actually reverse it. So what happened is Ethereum that we know today, led by Vitalik, they hard forked, broke off, and they reversed those transactions, so the money was returned. And back then, this was possible. Today, as we know, smart contracts on Ethereum get hacked all the time, but because Ethereum has grown and become decentralized today, we actually can't reverse it. But back then, we were able to. Well, fast forward to today. Not only is Ethereum more dominant than Ethereum Classic, Ethereum is one of the most dominant crypto projects in all of crypto. Nearly all of DeFi is built on top of Ethereum. Well, what's built on top of Ethereum Classic? Basically, nothing. Well, if nothing is built on top of Ethereum Classic, why is it pumping so hard? And there are two reasons. The first reason is that many people are confusing Ethereum Classic for Ethereum, thinking they're getting a cheaper version. I've been getting a lot of messages over the last few weeks of people saying they bought a cheaper version of Ethereum or thinking they bought the same thing as Ethereum, but it is not the same. This is similar to what happens with Bitcoin and Bitcoin forks. People buy Bitcoin Gold thinking it's Bitcoin. They buy Bitcoin Cash thinking it's Bitcoin, Bitcoin SV, and so on. And when we come across these people, we should not be laughing. We should not be mocking them. Often people laugh. Instead, we should be educating them. It's very easy to get confused with these projects, especially when you're new into the space. So that's the first reason. People thinking they're getting a cheaper version of Ethereum, or they're getting, Ethereum on sale, whatever it is, even though they do not have to do with each other. The second reason is that Ethereum Classic is accessible and available on Robinhood. And over the last year, we have learned that Robinhood traders are very powerful, and they can pump up the price of an asset. If we look at the currencies or the crypto available on Robinhood, Ethereum Classic, Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Cash, Dogecoin, Litecoin, these have all done very well over the last 7 days. Of course, Dogecoin up 107% over the last 7 days, Bitcoin Cash 53%, Litecoin 35%, and so on. So there is definitely money to be made. Well, it's pretty confusing though, right? Because nothing is really built on top of Ethereum Classic. Yes, it's still pumping. And when it comes to crypto, we can argue all day. This project versus that project. Low fees, high fees, centralized, decentralized, small block size, big block size, and so on. But there is one thing in crypto and blockchain that we cannot argue about, and that is security. If a project is not secure, it is essentially worthless. Even today, people use centralized systems as long as they're still secure. We see that in traditional finance. We even see it in crypto, right? Binance chain is relatively centralized. They only have 21 validators. But at this moment, at least, it is secure, so people will put their money. Imagine putting your money or building a project on something that might be centralized or decentralized, whatever it is, but it is not secure, right? It could be hacked, the money could be lost. People aren't going to use that. It's like going to your bank, a centralized company, but when you put money in the bank, it might not be there the next day. Maybe the bank gets hacked and you don't get that money back. Security is probably the single most important thing when it comes to blockchain. And the worst thing that can happen in crypto, the single worst thing, is a 51% attack. This is when one person or group controls more than half of the network. When you have a project that suffers a 51% attack, it is basically a death sentence. If Bitcoin, for example, were ever to suffer a 51% attack, it would be the end of Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin wouldn't fade to zero, but it certainly would not sit at #1 on CoinMarketCap. 51% attack. When this happens, the project is almost worthless. And let me tell you something, guys. Ethereum Classic has suffered 3 51% attacks in the past. This is really not up for debate. This is very, very bad. I'm very open to arguing or debating with people when it comes to, maybe centralization, decentralization, transaction fees and speeds and so on. But if a project had a 51% attack, there is no coming back from this. This is very, very bad. Now, I'm not saying there's no money to be made with Ethereum Classic. There definitely is. We are in alt season. I participate in alt season. I do participate with some gamble picks, but I make sure that I'm treating it as a trader, but not an investor. As a trader, you want to time markets. You want to take profits. As an investor, you want to hold on, right? As they say, diamond hands. When the price goes up, great. And when the price goes down, even better because you can buy more. But when you have diamond hands for a project that has had 3 51% attacks, you're going to have diamond hands to zero. Eventually, it will end, eventually. But right now, in the moment, anything can happen. Ethereum Classic went as high as about $154 per coin. Now it's at about 116, a nice pullback, a dip. And who knows what could happen? This thing could continue to pump. But one day, eventually, it will end and it will be bad. And I want you guys to make money, right? I'm happy when you guys participate on these coins and make money, but I'm even happier when you get to keep it. Make sure to take profit. Now, am I going to tell you exactly when to take profit? I don't know the answer to that, but understand that a project like Ethereum Classic that has suffered 3 51% attacks, you can still make money on it as a trader, but as a long-term investor, you have to make sure to know when to get out. And if you're sitting there on the other side of the screen and you're saying, you know what, a 51% attack is not that bad, I'm just going to say you win this argument. I don't even have the strength to entertain that conversation. 51% attack is the worst thing that could happen in crypto and blockchain. So make sure to make that money in this alt season, but even more importantly, make sure to keep it. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.